May be able to see that again tonight, as the rain often causes plenty of turnovers. Last week it helped Harlingen South a lot. Let's see how it works for them against these Cardinals.
And again, welcome to Rogan Stadium and Harlingen High School Sports. And again, Aaron Saenz along with Jonathan Medina bringing you this game live audio tonight in conjunction with ValleyCentral.com, Channel 4. And we're going to be bringing this game to you live audio. We are not allowed to show live video as per UIL rules. So we will only stream live audio during this football game. But stay tuned. This is going to be a good one here in Harlingen tonight. A big shout out to those of you all listening from out of city, out of state, maybe even out of country. It's going to be a good football game. Harlingen South, they won the coin toss. They deferred, and so Harlingen High decided to receive in the first half, and so Harlingen South will be kicking. They'll be kicking south, which will have just a slight breeze at their back. Here we go. Miltos kicks it. Be received about the 9-yard line. That's Michael Gonzalez out to the 15, 20, and he's hit hard right at the 20, and nowhere to run.
Right there, he tried reversing it across the field, going from the left to the right side, but he is met quickly by the Harlingen South defender and tackled hard. The ball will be placed at about the 21-yard line. Here we see on the replay, those of you watching later on, they'll see as he runs to the right, he gets met right at the 20-yard line hard, and then a couple of defenders drag him down. He gets a favorable spot as he really didn't cross the 20, but he gets it at the 21.
21-yard lines is where the Harlingen Cardinals in the red jersey, black pants tonight against the all-white Harlingen South Hawks. And starting the quarterback tonight for the Cardinals is going to be number 4, Jesse Castro. He fakes the handoff, looks to go downfield, in and out of the hands of number 8, Dominic Freeman, incomplete pass.
Well, we said they were going to depend on the run there. They tried coming out right away with the play action. He has his receiver open. He just throws it too far behind. Here we watch the replay. He catches it, fakes the run, has an open receiver, just throws it behind.
A little bit behind the receiver there. And I want to just make a note that the officials are doing the best job to rotate in dry footballs. And so they have somebody on the sideline with towels trying to keep them dry. Either way, rain's coming down pretty steady here. 2nd and 10 now for the Cardinals. Jesse Castro, shotgun formation, hands it off to his running back. That's Leo Tienda trying to find some space up the middle of that offensive line. Will fall forward, gain of 2 yards.
Those were a tough 2 yards as he takes off, turning to the left side. He has 2 pulling guards coming, leading the way, but there is absolutely no space for him to run. But he does get himself 2 yards just with tough fighting.
3rd down and 8 for the Cardinals. They're still deep in their territory, about the 23-yard line. Not inside that red zone, but the Harlingen South Hawks, this is the type of defense they played last week, able to come up with some big stops on 3rd down. 3rd and 8 now for the Cardinals. Castro, shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers. Hands off, Tienda, left side, finds the edge, spins. He will have the 1st down on a big run by number 28, Leo Tienda.
And here, right here, on that last play, we see a little bit unusual formation as they have strong or unbalanced to the left side. They have 3 linemen left, so that leaving only 1 guard on the one side. The open lineman pulls to the left side, freeing up Tienda to get down the field without meeting any defenders until he has already gotten the 1st down.
1st and 10 now for the Cardinals. The ball is placed at the 34-yard line. Snap, good. Handoff, Tienda, right side. Finds the space on the outside. Oh, he's tackled at the ankles there by the defender. Number 21 for the Hawks. That's going to be Javier Olvera.
There, that time, the Cardinals decide to run the same exact play just to the opposite side. They line up with the unbalanced. They pull number 54. It looks like Tienda has some space, but then, just as you said, number 21, Javier Olvera, comes up, makes the open field tackle on the right side of the field.
He had some open space to work with. Looks like he was going to bust a big one there, but Olvera does a good job of tripping him up. 2nd and 10 now. Ball still at 34. Down to 10:05 left to go in the 1st quarter. Handoff Tienda, right side again. Pushing forward, number 34, Shinneman on the tackle. Gain of about 4 yards.
Right there, just a great job by Tienda as Shinneman meets him right at the line of scrimmage, but he dragged Shinneman for about 4 yards to make it 3rd and about 6. And here we watch on the replay, just straight run play to the one side. Number 54 is not able to block number 34, Shinneman. Shinneman makes the tackle, but again, after a couple of yards being dragged.
They're going to give him a 3rd down and 5 left to go now for the Cardinals. Another 3rd down situation. Last time they ran it, and they'll run it again. Quarterback keeper outside. Lots of pressure upfield, and it is Shinneman with a tackle for a loss. That's going to bring up a 4th down, about 6, maybe even 7.
Yeah, right there, just the play did not work out for the Harlingen Cardinals. Here we watch the replay number 1 of the defense for Harlingen South. That's Bobby Castro. He gets some penetration late on the play, forces Castro to cut back in, where he's met by Shinneman, who you will hear his name tonight as every game. He makes plenty of tackles for this South defense.
He also runs the ball from that fullback position, so you will hear him again. That is number 34, Jared Shinneman. Back to punt now for the Cardinals is number 31. That's Nicholas Garcia. 4th and 6. 8:45 left to go in the first quarter. Scoreless at this point. Good snap. Kick is up. Nice looking punt. And it probably will not be received as it's taking a Cardinal bounce down to about the 25, 24 yard line. They'll mark it right there at about 24 and a half.
Yeah, right there he hits the punt. It looks like it's going to get some distance initially, but then it just kind of hangs in the air and then lands, but takes a little bit of a Cardinal bounce. The first drive for Harlingen South will start right at the 25-yard line. So they'll have 75 yards if they want to score a touchdown.
And the Hawk offense comes out. And one of the things we noticed early was that the number 7, Jimmy Morton, is back on the field for the Hawks. That is the junior play caller. And he was warming up. However, just as I say, that looks like they're going to different formation here. They're starting out with number 11, Darren Pettis, who is the playmaker we spoke about before the game. And he runs kind of a wildcat version, but hands it off to Shinneman. Shinneman gained about 4 yards on the play.
Well, we saw him last week was number 11, Pettis. He's very dangerous when hitting on the edge. So right here, it's just a replay. Shinneman takes it inside, running up the field. Everyone's protecting the edges, I guess, with the threat that Pettis will take it. Shinneman just takes it easy, run play right down the middle, gets himself 5 yards.
Well, I tell you what, we watched number 11, Darren Pettis, for South last week, almost single-handedly have a huge effect on the outcome of the game. And if he gets the edge, he can run, folks. So keep an ear out for number 11. Pettis now, again, this time hands it off again to Shinneman. Shinneman pushing forward, gain of about 2 yards, should bring up a third and maybe 2.
Right here, right now, the offensive line seems to be doing a great job for Harlingen South. We've seen Harlingen Cardinals get a lot of penetration on a lot of other teams, but no penetration here until he's just hit on his feet and brings him down. Just a shoestring tackle right there is one of the defenders for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was number 55, David Cantu, perhaps saving a first down run for sure. 3rd down, 2 coming up for the Hawks. 7:22. Pettis still in at quarterback. First time we've seen him taking the snap this season. 3rd and 2. Pettis asking for it. Gives it to Shinneman again. Shinneman up the middle. It looks, by the looks of the side judge there, that he's going to have enough for a first down.
Yeah, we see so far tonight the point of attack for Harlingen South. All the linemen have been able to hold their blocks, and Shinneman's just running through. And here we see it again, as it's just the same play pretty much, just shotgun handoff up the middle to Shinneman. That's number 34, who plays both sides of the ball. And he gets 3 plays, and he gets himself a first down.
I said last week, just give the ball to Darren Pettis and let him have it the whole game. And I guess the Hawks have come out in that type of mentality today. And so he's still running back at that quarterback position. Has 2 running backs with him in the backfield. Shinneman being one of them, who has carried pretty much all. Here goes Pettis. Pettis trying to get away, but he's met quickly in the backfield. First by number 2, that's Adrian Vasquez. And that's going to be a tackle for about a 1 yard loss.
It looked like Adrian Vasquez just went unblocked. It looked like he had plenty of lead blockers coming up as both the running backs come up the whole lead blocking. And actually, Vasquez just beats one of the running backs and makes the tackle.
Big time defensive play there by Vasquez coming right up the middle of that offensive line. That's going to bring him a 2nd down and 11 now. Ball is on the 35-yard line. The Hawks started about the 24 and a half or so. And so it's been slow going to start this series. 2nd and 11 for the Hawks. Pettis in at quarterback. 3 wide receivers. Hands it off to his tailback. Tailback outside then inside. Goes number 25, Alec Garza. Gain of maybe 3 yards.
We've seen them run the ball so far every single play tonight here on this drive. So now they'll be facing the 3rd and long. I'd like to see what Pettis is able to do at quarterback now that he's going to be most likely forced to throw the ball.
That's a great point. I'm interested too to see if he has an arm. We know he has legs and we know he can run. Interested to see what they're going to call here. 3rd and 8 now. Ball is on the 38-yard line. So you definitely want to get that first down, Jonathan, or else he'll be punting, giving it right back to that big red defense. Here we go. Darren Pettis now spreading it out with 4 wide receivers. 3 to his right, 1 to his left. Sends the receiver in motion, left to right. Keeper up the middle. Darren Pettis trying to find space. He cannot find space as he's tackled by number 62 for the Cardinals. That's going to be Magic Jaime.
Yeah, really right there, I would say the big part of why the play was not successful was number 6 was just sitting there. It looked like he may have been playing quarterback spy as he's just waiting for Perez to take off with the ball. Once Perez leaves with the ball, he goes after him. He doesn't make the tackle, but he does force him to make a cut, and he goes right into big number 62 of the defense. That's Magic Jaime.
Magic Jaime bringing up a 4th down. 4th and 4 punt. End over end punt. Going to come down about the 24. Rolls all the way to the 10. Wow, what a punt. This is what you call a coffin corner punt. He's going to mark it out. That's like the 2-inch line, Jonathan. Can you get any better than that?
The ball just continued to roll and roll down the sideline. I thought it was going to go into the end zone, and right before it goes into the end zone, it goes out of bounds. So the just beautiful punt. It might be the best punt we've seen all season long, or the hardest placement for this Cardinal offense. So right here will be a very dangerous part of the field. Is it for the Cardinals? And we see the replay. Is it just the camera guys just did a great job of following the ball. As you could see it just go right in front of the pylon out of bounds.
That's an amazing punt. That's a perfect punt, really. The ball is only about a football length from the goal line. So the offensive line for the Cardinals, trying to paint you a picture here, they are lined up actually in the end zone. Their feet are in the end zone. Let's see what they can do here. Hand off, trying to get some yards, get upfield is Tienda, and he does get away from that goal line, gain of maybe 4 yards, which will help them out immensely there.
Yeah, I thought Harlingen South was going to play a little more aggressive. They line up with the offensive line. The linemen for the Cardinals were all spread out pretty far, keeping a big distance between one lineman to the other. I thought you could have penetrated those gaps, but these offensive linemen for the Cardinals are able to hold their blocks, getting themselves very big 5 yards.
2nd and 5 now for the Cardinals. They have some space to breathe now. Ball is on the 6-yard line. Under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Handoff Tienda, right side. Nowhere to go. Bunch of white jerseys there. He actually is able to fight forward for a gain of maybe 2 yards, but this should bring up a 3rd and short 2 yards to go.
Another very impressive 2 yards for Tienda, as there was absolutely nowhere for him to go, as the linebacker number 44 makes some penetration, but Tienda makes a miss, and then he makes the next 2 defenders go forward with him.
We have not seen Jesse Castro pass since the very first play of the game, the offensive game, if you will, for the Harlingen Cardinals. So 3rd and 1 situation here. He's lining up in the backfield with Tienda in that shotgun, moving an offensive lineman around, moving into fullback, it looks like. So they're going power set here. He's going to give it out to Tienda, but Tienda is going to be hitting the backfield. His ball on the ground. Whitecap is saying he was down, but that's going to make a 4th down. Huge play there by that Harlingen South Hawk defense.
And here we see, just like you said, they do have two offensive linemen in the backfield. They both go to the right side. They have another lineman pulling forward. Just a big play by one of the defenders as he makes some penetration, dives after Tienda's legs. It should have been an easy 1st down for the Cardinals based off of the blocking they were getting. Just the one big player for Harlingen South.
Now the punter is in the end zone. That's number 11 for the Cardinals. Don't have a name for him. He's not on the roster unless I'm reading the number wrong, which is possible, folks. Either way, he's in the end zone. Going to try to get this punt off. He does. It's a good-looking punt, but it looks like there was a whistle blown, perhaps before they even snapped the ball. Waiting for the official.
If it goes against Harlingen South, it would be a 1st down, but it goes against the Cardinals, so to push them farther back into their own red zone, as they'll now have the ball right at the 5-yard line.
And correction, the punter is number 31. That's Nicolas Garcia. Didn't see that 3 on his jersey. So now Nicolas Garcia, he's at the very back edge, almost the back edge of the lettering in that end zone. So he's way back there. 4th and 6 now for the Cardinals. Dangerous situation to be in. Darren Perez back to receive this one. Good snap. Good punt. But it's going to come down rather short, and it takes a Harlingen South bounce back. And the South Hawks are going to get this ball, it looks like, right around the 28-yard line. And so they have a very short field to work with after that really impressive defensive stand.
Yeah, right here they'll have the ball at the 20-yard line. Again, the ball is going up. It's looking like it has some velocity, but every time he's kicked so far that direction on the field, it's just hung in the air and not gone. It doesn't look like the wind's that strong, but it seems to be stopping his ball in the air. 8 yards to the red zone, 28 yards into the goal line. They'll have a very short field to work with.
1st and 10 now. Jimmy Morton is on the field. That's number 7. That's a junior play caller. who was hurt, but he is back today. Shinneman from the tailback position down to the 19-yard line. Should have an 11-yard gain, which will give them a first down.
Just tons of open room for Shinneman. He's often just being tackled as soon as he gets across the line, but this time no one meets him until he's about 2 yards away from the first down, and the big runner gets himself the first down, carrying one defender across the first down.
You know, Shinneman up until this point has run just pure fullback, I believe, for the Hawks, at least when we've seen him here at home. And I'm watching him run right now. I'm saying this could have been a tailback all season. I mean, he's running upfield, getting some very crucial yards, and I think he's handled probably about 90 to 95% of the carries for the South Hawks so far. Jimmy Morton now in the backfield, shotgun formation. He does have Jared Shinneman. That will be a timeout, Hawks.
Yeah, Shinneman has had the ball in his hand all but one play, the one play where Bettis decided to keep it for himself, the final third down on the last drive. So we've seen Shinneman be the player that they've gone to here in this game tonight. He got one first down on the first drive. Here he got himself another first down. It may be what works for them tonight.
Definitely, and I tell you what, the look of Harlingen South tonight is different than what we saw last week against San Benito. And so if Harlingen High has last week's tape to go off of, they could plan for what they saw last week, and then all of a sudden South shows up with a different, really different personnel in different places tonight. And so, you know, that's always a little wrinkle that coaches kind of throw in there, especially if you look at a team like South Hawks who really just their job tonight, what they want to do is, of course, beat their rivals and then try to shake things up on their way out of their season.
Yeah, you always find a team excited to just play spoiler, but
right.
This game against a rival even more so.
Exactly. So Jimmy Morton now in the backfield. He has two running backs. Shinneman is his tailback still. He will give it. Shinneman up the middle now. He's almost breaks forward for a huge run, but just gets tripped up. That's a gain of about 9 yards for number 34, Jared Shinneman.
And he just runs like a big, strong fullback right down the middle. We have seen him play fullback all season long, so he catches it. He gets hit by a defender early, but he just goes right by him. And then I don't think I've ever seen Shinneman get tackled going backwards. Every time he touches the ball, he falls forward.
So that'll be a second down and 2 now for the Hawks. The ball is on the 11-yard line. We're down to 1:10 in the first quarter. Still scoreless to this point, 0-0. But Harlingen South is knocking. Number 11, Darren Bettis, is in at the quarterback position again. He'll keep it this time, going left, but he's tackled quickly in the backfield by number 44 for the Cardinals. That's Isaiah Cano coming up with a huge tackle for a loss.
Cano makes a big play right here as Bettis would have taken it into the end zone as he had blockers up in front of him. He would have only had one player to beat, but he comes from the backside, just playing very aggressively off the backside. So the read was to take it, but is not able to, as just aggressive play by the backside defensive lineman. That was number 44, Isaiah Cano.
Big play there by number 44. 3rd and 6 now. Down to 20 seconds left to go on the clock, but 6 on the play clock. Trying to get this one off is Jimmy Morton in at quarterback. Hands off Shinneman. Middle of the field, and he's going to be tackled. In there was number 44, but he was joined there, I believe, by number 90 for the Cardinals. That's going to be Edwin Gasca, and they stopped him, I think, for another loss right there.
And here we watch the replay. He just gets up off the ground. It does number 90. Just great effort. We've seen Gasca make a lot of plays throughout this season off of effort. He's taken to the ground initially, but he gets up, meets Shinneman right, and they line up head-to-head, and then he's followed by his teammates. Big 4th down for Harlingen South. It looks like they may be discussing perhaps going for it. It'd be a little bit of a tough field goal from this distance.
Well, I see Fabi Milto's down there. He's got the tee on the ground, so it looks like they're going to go for the 3 on this one. And he was kicking from the 35-yard line, which would have been a 45-yarder before in pregame. And he had the distance, but he was pulling them left a little bit. I just couldn't get one to go through the upright. So this is a shorter version of that. This is going to be a 34-yard field goal as the ball is on about, I would say, the 24-yard line or so, 23. So waiting for the snap. Snap is good. Kick is up. Waiting for the official. And it is good. So Harlingen South strikes first. They get 3 points on the scoreboard to end the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, it's Harlingen South 3, Cardinals 0.
And right there, just a great job with the short field. Harlingen South, they get points. They get themselves into the red zone, but they're not able to finish. Aaron, they were doing a great job just hanging it off to Shinneman right down the middle.
Right.
They decided to get a little fancy. They put Bettis, who was a big playmaker for them last week. They put him shotgun, no running backs in with him. He gets tackled for a loss. Following play, Harlingen again makes another big play as they tackle Shinneman for about another yard loss. So just 2 big plays for Harlingen, making the stop, keeping it from turning into 7. They only give up 3 on the short field.
Definitely. Just take a quick moment here. And I know that we here in the field we're watching a presentation by Chick-fil-A. And so Chick-fil-A awarding HCISD, the 2 different high schools are splitting a check there for good sportsmanship. And so a nice gift there from Chick-fil-A, recognizing these 2 high schools on this really historic night. It's a night that's gone back for a couple of decades already, and it's an important football night for this city. And so Chick-fil-A coming out and sponsoring that. So thank you to them. All right, here we go. Starting off the second quarter now. Fresh clock as Harlingen South gets ready to kick off to the Harlingen Cardinals. The rain has let up somewhat, but it's still wet out there. It's still coming down and just not as heavy as earlier. Here we go. Line drive type kick. And this will be picked up. Oh, it's muffed early, but then picked up again. Trying to get upfield up to the 27-yard line. Goes number 1, Rene Medina. It looks like they're going to mark him down about the 27.
Yeah, if it gets hit a little short, it bounces towards Medina. A little hard to pick up. It's a wet ball bouncing awkwardly on the floor, coming pretty fast. It takes him 2 tries to get it. He does a good job of recovering once he catches, accelerates quickly. Lucky to even get himself to the 27-yard line.
And I have a correction. That's number 7, Jonathan Hernandez. Want to give credit where credit is due. Hernandez was one that actually picked that up and has brought it out to the 28-yard line. They're going to mark it. So 1st and 10 now for the Cardinals at the 28. Number 4, Jesse Castro and company come out. 3 receivers to his left, so they have a spread offense out there. Tienda is the running back in the backfield. Fake, thrown to the slot. Slot receivers down on his knees quickly. That's number 9, Michael Gonzalez.
And that's the first play that we saw out of the Cardinals. Just a play action, easy pass towards number 8, the same receiver as earlier. This time he does get the ball to Freeman. Freeman makes the catch, but he has to catch it. He catches it on his knee, so he's down as soon as he catches the ball. He's still brought down about the same area.
Yeah, that's number 8, Dominic Freeman on that reception. 2nd down and 5 to go now for the Cardinals. Ball's at the 33-yard line. Handoff. This is Gonzalez. Gonzalez trying to get up the left side of the field. Falls forward. He's going to be about a yard short of that 1st down marker.
And the Harlingen South defense, as they are matching up against these Cardinals, when they have 2 running backs in the field, they have about 8 in the pocket, as they only have one safety deep. The rest of the people are there in the box attacking this run game of the Cardinals.
3rd and a short 1 left to go for the Cardinals. Big time play right here. Ball at the 37-yard line. Harlingen South, 4 people up on the line. They're not really cheating anybody deep. They're expecting the run here. Castro, handoff for Gonzalez, left side, slips a tackler. Should have enough for the 1st down. I think he will, and he will. Should be a 1st down Cardinals.
And Shinneman gets some penetration right up the field. And here we watch on the replay, he just attacks the hole, but number 9 for Harlingen, that's Michael Gonzalez, just does a great cut, gets himself the 1st down.
1st down for the Cardinals, and so the Cardinals come to the line at the 40-yard line. We're under 10 and a half here to go in the 1st half, and it's 3-0 Harlingen South leads the Harlingen Cardinals here at Bogus Stadium. Calling for the play. Freeman wants the ball down here. Castro doesn't see him. He's rolling right. Lots of white jerseys coming. Ball is on the ground. Ball is on the ground. Still on the ground. Pops out as the Harlingen South Hawk defender bounced on it. But it looks like Harlingen ended up with it. What a crazy fumble that was, Jonathan.
Crazy fumble. Quarterback Castro, he needs to realize he can throw it away. Freeman was jumping up and down from the very beginning. I'm not sure if it was a fake or if he really wanted the ball. It seems odd. He's standing straight up. I don't think he was really trying to get the ball. He was making the fake sell, but Castro tries holding on to the ball, waiting to make a big play, and then the ball just bounces out, and more players, it bounces again. But there was a flag at the end of it, and it looks like it's going to go in favor of Harlingen.
Personal foul on the Hawks, and so that's a big-time play. 1st down, it's a 15-yard penalty and then a 1st down. And so that was going to be a huge play for that defense because they lost about 15 yards or so on the play, 15 yards behind scrimmage, and now they've moved the scrimmage line. So now they're 1st and 10 at the 43.
Yeah, almost at the original 1st down marker because of the big loss, and then the penalty takes them right back there. But just a tough break for Harlingen South as they get the penalty.
And Harlingen South, a new set of downs now. Castro keeping it, trying to get outside. Sheneman is there, and Sheneman is able to make the wrap-up tackle. And I don't know if he'll gain. If he does, it's a short one.
It looks like they're going to give him about half a yard gain on the play. But there we've seen number 54 on the offense. He pulls a lot, but that time just the aggressive play by the linebackers of Harlingen South. They both come up, and then Sheneman stays free. He's able to make the tackle.
2nd and 9 coming up for the Cardinals. It's a little bit of a interesting weather night here for the game. Quiet game too, because the bands, I believe, still haven't come down from the bus. They've kept them in the bus so far as to not get the instruments and whatnot wet. So all the noise we have is the crowd noise. Here we go. Fake the tienda. Gonzalez open down the middle, slant. It looks like he's going to haul this one in. They're going to call him reception, and that's going to be a big-time pass, about a 20-yard pickup for the Cardinals, first down.
And here we see Castro, again, a play. Every time he's gone to pass has really been a play action, or was the one bust play, but that one he ended up being tackled and then giving up the fumble. But here we see another play action pass results in an open receiver. This time is medium depth, so they get themselves the first down with the completion.
About 17, maybe 18 yards on that pass reception there for Michael Gonzalez. So 1st and 10 now, ball on the 34-yard line for the Cardinals. Another slant. That's Dominic Freeman, and he catches it and gets hit hard as he catches it. So they're going to say incomplete pass. Looks like he did not have possession.
He's quickly met. He's open once again. He's been the target on these very short routes going down the middle. He catches it, and there we see the ball does come out on the replay. Great job with the replay by our camera guys. As we see, he gets hit, and it looks like he still has possession, but right before he gets to the ground, we do see the ball pop out right underneath him. Great job by the referee seeing it as well.
Yeah, those are some good eyes there. Definitely on the instant replay, we can confirm that was a good call. Incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 now for the Cardinals. Handoff, Tienda, middle of the pack there, trying to push forward. It's going to gain maybe 5, even 6 yards on the hard run by number 28, Leo Tienda.
And right there, just a good job. It does Tienda as he takes it up the middle. He has one lineman pulling, makes the block on Sheneman, so that way Sheneman is not free when he makes the tackle. And so Tienda just drags Sheneman for about 2 or 3 yards after contact.
3rd and 5 coming up for the Cardinals now. Castro, pistol formation. Tienda is behind him. They're going to run the option. They pitch to Tienda. Tienda cuts back inside off a block from Castro. Blocks up. Jumps off 2 or 3 defenders. He'll have way more than enough for a first down. That's a big run on the option play to Leo Tienda, following his blocker, the quarterback upfield.
Yeah, right here we see Tienda. The pitch goes a little early, in my opinion, but then the quarterback goes and makes the block. And then number 2 for Harlingen South, Jason Martinez, looks like he was going to make the play, does the junior. But then Tienda just lowers his shoulders and keeps his balance through and gets himself about another 7 yards after that.
1st and 10 on the 13-yard line. 7.5 left to go in the first half. Still 3-0 Harlingen South. Lots of movement on the line of scrimmage. Looked like South was showing blitz. And we're going to see what the Whitecap, we have to be Mike Buck tonight. And he will call it on the offense. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, still first down. But just lots of movement down there in that neutral zone.
Yeah, we do see Harlingen South. They show blitz. And it looked like number 75 just jumped just a little bit early right in front of the play. So it was hard to see, but he did move just a little bit early, and he gets the penalty on him. So a good break right there for Harlingen South as it takes them all the way back 5 yards. So it'll be 1st and 15.
1st and 15. Ball is on the 18-yard line. 7:05 left to go in this first half. Harlingen High trails by 3. Tienda, left side, slips a tackler. Bounces off a couple more and rumbles all the way down to the 1-yard line. Does Leo Tienda a huge run. That'll give him a first down on the 16-yard run.
And again, we see Tienda just some very impressive power and balance. He's not the biggest runner, but he runs like he's a big runner as he just meets 2 defenders. They fall down. He stays up, gets himself to about the 2-yard line. 1st
and 2 on the 2. So 1st and goal on the 2-yard line. Tienda coming off a huge run there. I would say give it to Tienda again. This time they have Keaton Obeck, number 32, at the fullback position. Power package here with an offensive lineman also at a running back. Power sweep left. Tienda skips, hops, and he's in for the touchdown. And this will be a Harlingen Cardinal touchdown, which will make the game 6-3. As Tienda, the running back, skips into the end zone.
And here we see the replay as they do have two power defenders. The lineman playing fullback makes the play on the linebacker coming in. Tienda jumps over the defender on the ground. Easy touchdown for Tienda as he gets, you can see the excitement that he has to score on their rival here tonight.
Number 85, Guillen, in to attempt the extra point. The kick looks long enough, and it is good. So that'll make it a 7-3 ball game here with 6:29 left to go in the first half. Harlingen Cardinals have gone up now over the Harlingen South Hawk, who had the lead for pretty much for the whole first half up until this point. So Harlingen Cardinals coming up with a good drive there. Got a big-time break earlier. Remember that when they had a huge almost lost fumble. That 15-yard penalty gave them new life, and they took advantage of it. So ever since then, marched it right downfield, put 7 on the board.
And they marched it down the field. One big pass to Gonzalez, but most of that drive was led by Tienda, just about a medium-sized back, but he runs like he's a large back. He just lowered his shoulder on a couple of those final plays, showing his power and balance. And he just led them in all the way until he took it in for the end zone, giving the Cardinals the 7-3 lead.
7-3 with 6:29 left to go. South Hawks ready to return this kickoff by the Cardinals. And so just to get a big thank you tonight to KHGN's team here, include Shane Strubart, Maritza Gallaga, Adriano Dominguez, Roland Saldúa, Aris Montemayor, Joe Medrano, Sem Vargas, George Banda, Javier Araiza, Pat Guajardo, and the KHGN Co-opsy students doing a great job tonight to bring you this broadcast live audio at this time. Kickoff now. It's going to be caught about the 5-yard line, dancing, tiptoeing on the sideline, getting upfield. Will not break that 20-yard line, number 1 for the Hawks, Bobby Castro. So it looks like the Hawks will get it about the 19.
Castro catches it almost right on the sideline. He's lucky to have stayed in. I thought maybe he should have just allowed it to bounce and see if it would have gone out of bounds, but it would have been dangerous as he was the only one back there, and it was about the time that the Cardinal defenders would have started to arrive.
That 1st and 10 now. They're going to mark it down at the 20-yard line. And so that Hawk offense gets on the field with Jimmy Morton, number 7, is going to be their quarterback. 2 wide receivers, and he has 2 running backs with him in the backfield. And you'll hand it off. Sheneman trying to find space, but this time he's met quickly in that backfield, trying to get a number for you. But that was just a big play by number 24.
And here we see him. He just comes in free. They just had too many players to block as number 24 comes in, and that is Charlie Moreno. I believe he plays safety, or he's a smaller player, but he plays kind of the slot outside, right outside, maybe outside linebacker. Just went free for the tackle there.
All right, and Jimmy Morton now in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off again to Sheneman. Sheneman trying to get upfield, but he's met pretty quickly by number 44 of the Cardinal defense. Again, that's Isaiah Cano coming upfield and making a big hit there. No gain on that one.
No gain right there again. We see just a great job. Another free defender is number 44 making the tackle. Well, they'll be facing Harlingen South 3rd and long. We've seen them have some successful runs on the short distance, but we have not seen them be able to create something out of long distance needs.
It's just an odd silence in the crowd right now, John. What do you think about that? I think people are just trying to stay dry out there. 3rd and 9 now for the Hawks. Handoff, Sheneman, left side of the offensive line, tries to break through, gain of maybe 3 yards. This will bring up a 4th down, and the South Hawk punt unit comes onto the field.
They decided to play it safe here, keeping close. Last week we saw them. They just stayed close in the game, and it turned into a win for them. I think if you're Harlingen right now, you're going to get good field position. You have to take advantage and try to punch it in for another touchdown, because this Harlingen South team is very dangerous in a close game. They want to play the spoiler. It's a rivalry game. And here we have the punt. The punt is a short punt. It'll take a little bit of a Harlingen South bounce. But good return as he gets all the way to the 40 from about the 47-yard line. He takes it to the opposite 40. Another short, or now we will have a short field for the Cardinals.
And that's Elijah De Leon there, number 3. And I didn't know he was going to pick it up, but he decides to pick it up. Tripped up early, but gets and retains his balance. Bounces off yet another tackler here watching this replay, and finally stopped there by the punter before going forward anymore, Fabi Milto. So a good return there by Elijah De Leon. when I thought maybe he should have stayed away from that. So 1st and 10 now on the 39-yard line of the Harlingen South Hawks. And so again, a less than 40 yards to work with if they're going to try to punch it in. Looking to try to go for that jugular early on in this game. 4:24 left to go. Castro looking left, wants to pass it, flush from the pocket, rolls right, fakes it, pulls it, spins, big time hit there. That's like right in the face, and looks like the big time hitter was there at 53. That's number 53 for the Hawks, Adeawa.
Yeah, here we see Adeawa. He just does not give up on the play. He follows him inside. Shinneman makes him cut in, and then Adeawa's right there, just head-to-head collision as the quarterback Castro spun away from Shinneman, and it's just met by the defensive lineman.
And he drove those legs and kept pushing. All right, 2nd and 6 now for the Cardinals. Handoff, Tienda trying to bounce. He does bounce it. Should have enough for a first down. I thought he was going to be tackled for a loss. Jonathan bounced it to the outside, found some space.
And that was all Tienda on that play, as it looks like the offensive line made a mistake or they pulled away from where he was running. So either Tienda just ran the ball the wrong way or these linemen blocked the wrong way. But Tienda still gets yards, as we've seen him just have some tough running all night. Gets himself the first down, and the Cardinals team will have more chances.
27-yard line now for the Cardinals. Handoff, keeper Castro fakes it at Tienda, up the middle, spinning, bouncing like Tienda, and we'll have another first down. That's about a 12-yard run there on the quarterback keeper, number 4, Jesse Castro.
And these backs for Harlingen in this second quarter here, they've just showed impressive balance as they've been met hard multiple times, and they're just bouncing off the contact, gaining more and more yards, getting themselves more and more first downs.
We're down to 3:05 left to go in the first half. Cardinals, Castro, option, keeps it, goes upfield, but hit hard as soon as he gets to the line of scrimmage there. That's number 21 on the tackle. That's going to be Brandon Flores.
I was wondering when he was going to start playing it a little more aggressive. He runs to the sideline strong, and then he tries cutting up. It looks like he has some space, but then number 21, Olvera, just fills the hole, making the tackle. So it'll be 2nd and about 9 yards.
Called the wrong sheet there. That's number 21, Olvera for the Hawks. All right, 2nd and 9 now for the Cardinals. Castro keeps it. Left side, going to follow Tienda to the outside. He should have enough the first time. He does, and he will have enough, as a matter of fact, for a Cardinal touchdown, as number 4, Jesse Castro, pulls it in and follows Tienda as running back as his lead blocker.
He follows Tienda. Tienda actually misses the block, so I thought it wasn't going to work out, but Tienda gets enough on number 11 of South's defense, just enough for Castro to get in for the first down. I didn't show any love for the receiver on the play. I didn't get his number, but he did a great job of maintaining that block. That's the block that really seals the touchdown, because Castro did not have to cut in for it at all.
The kick is up for the extra point try, and it is good. So just like that, folks, it's 14-3 as the Cardinals have really come alive here in the second half of the second quarter and really have come to life for the last 6 minutes or so, and now put 14 points on the board after the defense have come up with some really good stops on the Harlingen South offense. And so just like that, 14-3. Going to be an interesting last series for the Hawks. I just want to point out that the Hawks have already used 2 of their timeouts. So they're down 2. They only have 1 timeout left. Cardinals still have all 3.
Well, I said it's going to be very important for the Cardinals to score again, as you do not want to allow this Harlingen South team to be in the game. You want to extend on them. They did play spoiler last week. They want to do it again tonight. But just the run game for this Cardinal offense has come alive on these last 2 possessions. They've just run over the defenders of Harlingen South.
Harlingen South now going to be able to receive this one back with about 2:23 left to go on the clock. Again, I mentioned they do only have 1 timeout remaining. Harlingen Cardinals have all 3 left, and so Harlingen Cardinals are going to want to kick this off, get downfield, and get a stop quickly, and that could equate to another Harlingen touchdown. They're able to flip that. So South needs to do something here if they want to stay close in this game. It's going to be fielded by number 1, Bobby Castro. Castro running it right. He's at the 10-yard line. Lots of red jerseys around him trying to find space. He cannot find a lot of space, so he's down at the 15-yard line, tackled eventually by number 90, Edwin Gasca.
And we've seen number 90 make plays all season long on these special teams. He's a phenomenal effort type player. He's big and athletic, but on these special teams, he just continues to come after the ball. We've seen him over and over all season. Big guy chases down the runner. And so Harlingen South will have to go about 83 yards if they want to get a touchdown.
2:13 left to go in this first half. 14-3. Again, the Cardinals lead after 2 touchdowns here in the second half of the second quarter. And Harlingen South is now going to start. Jimmy Morton is in at quarterback. Having trouble getting the personnel on the field that they need. Finally get that slot receiver on. Morton looking right, wants to pass. He lets this one go. It's fired in there. It's caught for a reception. That's going to be a gain of about 5, maybe even 6 yards. Nice looking throw there by Morton.
Right there we see some nice velocity on that throw. It looks like they're going to give him about 7 yards. Right when the receiver gets contacted, they're going to give him the... But he will be tackled inbounds, and the clock will continue to roll. It is now at 1:47. With still a lot of field left for them to cover if they want to get into the end zone.
If I were to say that, who's the best passer from the field, is definitely Jimmy Morton of the two. And not nothing against number 4, Jesse Castro, but Morton just has a better throwing style. And Castro, as we've seen, he's really strong in the run. And so really interested to see the throwing game come up for the Hawks. I think that they haven't tried to use that to their advantage yet. They've really just been running the ball with Sheneman, and that's been effective to a certain point. But the last 2 series, Harlingen Cardinals have made adjustments and really stopped that up. And so the air game needs to come to life. The Hawks are going to be able to move it downfield, in my opinion.
Well, it's tough. They get positive yards in the run game, but once they lose a little bit of yards, it takes them to now a 3rd and long. We saw twice in the last 2 drives or last 2 possessions for Harlingen South, but they continue to run even though it was 3rd and long. I want to say some poor clock management here on this drive so far as Harlingen South does eventually take the timeout, but they let about 15 seconds run off the clock. It looked like they were about to run a play, and then finally coach decided to call the timeout.
So that is it. No more timeouts for the Hawks with 1:35 left to go in the first half. It's 2nd and 3 on the 23-yard line. So they have a lot of fuel to go. If they're going to make this, they're going to have to go to the air if they're going to want to be able to manage this clock. Morton, flag on the play, and usually they blow it before. That's going to be an illegal formation or false start here in the offense.
Well, I saw both of the receivers on the left side in the trips part of the formation. They jumped, but the ref reacted a little slow, so I thought they had gotten away with it, but he does throw the flag, and Mike Buck does say that it was a false start.
So that'll be a 2nd and 8. That's a 5-yard penalty. You keep the same down. So 2nd down and 8 to go now. Ball will be placed, it looks like, on the 18-yard line. And so the South Hawks, again, have a pretty lengthy field to work with. But Jimmy Morton, number 7, who's been riddled with injury this season, has missed probably about 4 games, maybe even 5 of the season. We do know that he has an impressive arm. Morton now, shotgun formation, and he'll hand it off to his running back. I believe that's going to be number 34, Jared Sheneman again, gain of about 1 yard.
Yeah, it looks like once they saw and they called the timeout, they decided they did not want to play aggressive and continue to pass. They'll try to get the first down. I think they'll try to take it into halftime with just an 11-point lead for the Cardinals, but the Cardinals decided to call a timeout. I think Coach Gomez wants a shot at getting another score in, as they have been able to make their way up the field pretty easily the last 2 drives.
Yeah, you have to wonder about that timeout taken by the Hawks. Like you said, it's kind of just a weird play. If you're looking at clock management perspective, that's a weird timeout to call, and especially now that you've stopped the clock twice for the Cardinals. And if they get a stop here in 3rd and 6, I would say that the Cardinals will take another timeout, and they'd get a shot to get this downfield here. They have enough time to do that. So crucial play coming up for the South Hawks if they want to retain that 14-3 lead, let alone try to make something happen and move down the field for a score.
Yeah, so I want to see what Harlingen South does. I imagine they're going to run the ball again. I think they're going to be hoping they get themselves the first down if they do decide to run it, and they can just run out the clock. They do line up in a strong formation, only 1 receiver to the right now.
Morton back there in the shotgun formation, kind of a pistol offset a little bit, and he will hand it off. So they're going to go for the safe play here. But I tell you what, Sheneman doesn't run safely. He runs hard, but he will not have enough for the first down. So this will bring a 4th down and 1 for the Hawks. And let's see where the placement of this next timeout is going to be for the Cardinals.
It looks like the Cardinals are not going to call the timeout.
So another 26 seconds to come off the play clock. That's going to put it right about 35 seconds or so on the game clock here. And so Harlan South's going to try to punt this off, try to take off as much as possible on that play clock. And that way Harlingen retains 1 timeout left to try to make something happen before the half. Migos is the punter. 6 on the play clock now. It's a high snap, but comes down. He's able to field it. This will kick. Nobody's back to return as they brought the house. This ball's going to go down to the 40-yard line. 39.5 now. Flag on the play. 32 seconds left to go.
At the end of the play, I did see a Harlingen South player on the ground. So I'm not sure. I think it will go against the Cardinals. But we'll have to see what the Whitecap decide. Or let's see what he's saying. He's looking, he's communicating with the other referees. They're spotting the foul.
Block in the back on Harlingen. You know, they had nobody back to return that punt. And yet you have a block in the back. You know, it just really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, if you're going to send the house, you shouldn't even be worried about blocking anybody if there's nobody back to return it. And so you get a penalty like that, that takes you way back, especially if you're trying to make something happen.
Yeah, I think it turned into a block in the back, but it probably would have been a borderline unsportsmanlike because he's probably just playing very aggressive against the crosstown rival, wants to get a hit in for no reason really, and pays for it with a big penalty.
So 1st and 10 now, ball in the 30 of the Harlingen Cardinals. And so they have 30 seconds left to go now. Castro looking to pass downfield. He lets this one fly. Michael Gonzalez coming across. I tell you what, if that ball was just a foot shorter, that could have been taken to the house as Gonzalez had about a step or 2 on that cornerback. Incomplete.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see the aggressive play. The ball does wobble a little bit in the air. If it was about 1 yard closer to the receiver, it would have been a completion and probably taken for a touchdown. If they're going to play so aggressive, I would have thought they would have called a timeout to keep those 35 seconds that they let go down. But now they have 25 seconds and 70 yards to go.
Castro again, that shotgun formation will hand it off to his running back. Running back trying to get upfield. That's number 1, Rene Medina. He's going to gain maybe about a yard or 2, but that could be it for the first half here.
And here we see number 74, the sophomore, Abel Villarreal, just comes from the backside, making the tackle as plumbing from the defensive lineman position. And it looks like that'll be the last play of the half as the score will be 14-3 at halftime. Both teams taking it in. Aaron, what do you think about the first half?
Well, I tell you what, Harlingen definitely has come out and have showed a very